Hi friends, thank you so much for being with us again this weekend in the Junction. All right, we are on our 5th and final week of April, which is our series called Road Trip. Some things are worth the wait. Now we've been talking about that big word patience, waiting until later for what you want right now. And we are learning patience with all of our construction going on. This weekend will be very different in the Junction. You'll notice we are going to have to make a hallway through the Junction to get our preschool families to their classrooms. So it'll be a little different. Just be prepared for it and know that all good things are coming to those of us who wait and show patience. So, all right, so our lesson this week is called Souped Up. And this is the story of Esau's impatience when he gave up his birthright for a bowl of soup. You can find that in Genesis 25, verses 24 through 34. Bottom line is patience, waiting until later for what I want now. Our memory verse will not change. It's still Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, do not lose hope, wait for the Lord. Now, if they can say that memory verse, this is prize week. So be ready or leave a little bit of time in your small group for them to say that memory verse to you. All right, first thing we're going to do when we get in our groups is to take a snapshot. Let's see how our kids are doing this week, what's been going on. And you're going to ask them to think, but do not say out loud, situations where it's a good idea to think twice and not act quickly. Now, if they're having trouble coming up with some, you can give them some examples. Things like cheating on a test, hitting the snooze button, making fun of someone, gossiping. But how they're going to let you know what they've come up with is they're going to act out the scenario and see if you and your group can guess. All right, the next thing you're going to do is our Bible story extension. So this is going to go back over the Bible story lesson that we watched on the video. You're going to have a soup kettle, which in our case is a popcorn bucket. You're going to give every kiddo a plastic spoon, and this is essentially a buzzer. So you're going to go back through the story, starting with Genesis chapter 25, verse 27. And they're going to buzz in when there's a moment when Esau should have thought twice before acting. Should have showed some patience. So whoever hits the bucket first gets to give the answer. You may have to pause if they're missing the cue, but it should be good, and it'll be a great way to get this story solidified in their minds. All right, as always, we'll have discussion questions. What is it about pressure from our peers or stressful situations that cause us to lose our cool and do things without thinking? What is it about those moments that make us not stop and think twice? And what could we do to think twice before we act? And you'll be doing that also at the end. We've got verse to take with you. So this isn't the memory verse, but it is a special verse to help them get through things like this during their week at school. And this week we'll be reading James 1:19, which says, "My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Now, you've got these little cards, and they're called Think Twice cards. So have them flip one over, and it says, "It's like my brother knows everything that annoys me. He just grabbed the remote control out of my hands." Now, first thought, or think once, what would you do in that situation? Well, we all know we'd probably hit our brother, we'd grab the remote control back, we'd scream, "Mom!" One of these things. So let them answer that way, but then have them pause and take a moment to think twice. What should they do in this situation? What would be something they could do to handle the situation differently or better? So go over these cards with them and just help them remember sometimes we have to stop, show a little patience, and think twice before we act. Even adults have to do that. All right, guys, pray with your group. This week we will be doing something special. We'll be collecting cans in the Junction as part of our Love 928 for the People's Pantry. And if you were here last weekend, you know that the kids challenged me if they could bring in 500 cans that I would dye my hair pink. Well, that will stand. I will dye my hair pink if 500 cans come in. So watch for the cans, help collect, start counting, all that good stuff. Guys, we couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for being with us.